What if everything you were taught about your identity was a lie? What if black was never a race, but a legal status, crafted to strip you of your sovereignty? And what if the Moors were the true inheritors of the Americas, long before the United States even existed? A people without knowledge of their past is like a tree without roots. Let's dig deeper. The Moors weren't just North African Muslims. They were master builders, navigators, spiritual scientists, rulers of empires stretching from Morocco to Andalusia. But here's the twist, their legacy reached even further. Moorish-style architecture can be found as far as Panama and Peru. The star domes, the stone grids, the ornate archways, they're not just in Spain, they're scattered across the Americas. In 1787, the Moors were recognized as a nation. The Sultan of Morocco was actually the first to formally acknowledge the United States, making Morocco America's oldest friend. A sovereign recognizes a sovereign. Here's where things get even more interesting. December 1, 1789, the newly minted President George Washington writes to the Sultan of Morocco, thanking him for peace and friendship. But was this just diplomacy? Or was it Washington seeking permission to operate a government within a Moorish dominion? The letter literally thanks the Sultan for encouraging U.S. commerce with your dominions. Morocco's maritime reach at the time was massive. Ports, ships, treaties, far more influence than you might have guessed from your high school textbooks. Now let's jump to 1868, the 14th Amendment. You've probably been told it was all about freedom, but the real story is different. The 14th Amendment didn't free anyone. It reclassified people, especially the Moors, into persons under federal jurisdiction. This wasn't liberation, this was national identity theft. Look at the legal definitions in Black's Law Dictionary. Citizen versus subject, color of law. Terms like Negro, black, and colored weren't just words, they were legal fictions. New labels for people who already had their own nation, treaties, and status. Remember Dred Scott v. Sanford? The Supreme Court said straight up, the Negro has no rights which the white man is bound to respect. So how did a people with diplomatic ties, land, and treaties suddenly become Negroes? Because the 14th Amendment created a brand new class of dependents, fictional persons, not sovereigns. But the evidence of who the Moors really were is still all around us. In Panama, Peru, Mexico, the American Southwest, buildings and city plans echo Moroccan design. Star domes, minarets, patterned tiles, ancient city layouts that resemble Mecca. There are even Arabic inscriptions and geometric tilework in Mexico and the Caribbean. Some Panamanian history books even reference Moroccan design in their oldest cities. So why do so many descendants of the Moors now call themselves Black, African American, or Negro? These aren't nationalities, they're brand labels, engineered to disconnect you from treaties, land claims, and your divine birthright. Think about it, a Moorish ID card versus a US birth certificate. Noble Drew Ali warned, if you are not careful, your own people will hand you over to the authorities. In law, black literally means dead, no rights, no standing. But to be called Moor, that's to resurrect your legal standing, your heritage, and your nation. The 14th Amendment was not your emancipation, it was your enclosure. But you are not lost. You are Moorish. Reclaim your name, your status, your rights, your sacred identity. In propria persona, sui juris, standing on the law. This is video 1 of 3. Subscribe for the Fed and Fiat slavery, and the United States Postal Certificate solution. Produced under the Oriya Protocol for the restoration of truth, sovereignty, and divine order.